A water quality investigations kit for total coliform and E. coli testing contains all of the items you need to collect your sample. This includes alcohol wipes for sterilizing your tap, an ice pack to be frozen by the client, a sterile sample bottle with a label, a chain of custody, also known as a COC, and a cooler. If you also need certified nitrate and arsenic testing, we will supply you with additional bottles. Some clients want this information to simply know more about their well. Others require these tests for real estate transactions, after pump work, or when a new well has been drilled. These bottles contain acid preservatives required by the methods for these tests. It is important not to spill or dump out the preservatives in these bottles out of concern for both your safety and the accuracy of the results. These kits are also supplied with disposable gloves. Next, choose your sample tap. Ideally, we want a sample collected from the pressure tank tap to represent the condition of the well. The following photos are examples of pressure tanks with the sample tap location indicated. The following scenarios should be avoided: motion sensor sinks, spray nozzles, gooseneck faucets, decorative faucets, or faucets with point-of-use filters. In this case, remove the filter before sampling. If you have an aerator, it should be removed prior to flushing and collecting your sample. We also don't recommend sampling from a leaking tap or a tap directly next to you or over your pet's litter box. One other tip to keep in mind: taps with a hose connection end, which may be found on your pressure tank tap, are a little more difficult to sterilize than smoothbore taps because there are more grooves for bacteria to hide in. I personally like to use an alcohol wipe and flame hose connections to make sure the tap is clean and I'm not contaminating the sample. A simple faucet like this example works well. Just avoid using the spray nozzle if that's an option. If a pressure tank tap is not available, the kitchen sink is the next best option because drinking water is most likely consumed from this tap. If your kitchen tap is not a suitable option, you can resort to a bathroom sink. Our lab will process samples from bathroom faucets, but we do caution this due to the close proximity to toilets, which could result in aerosolized fecal matter. A laundry room sink or mop sink could be used for sample collection, but because these sinks are not used for drinking water purposes in most cases, they may be used less often, and they aren't the best representation of the water consumed by the household. We suggest avoiding outdoor hose connections because there is a greater chance of environmental contamination in the sample, and it can be more difficult to completely sterilize the sample tap. If you have an alternative tap to use, skip the outdoor hose connections. The overall pattern for sampling, regardless of the tap used, is flush, flame or sanitize, and flush again. If a faucet is being used, only sample from cold, unsoftened water. Hot water and softened water is not regulated and shouldn't be tested for coliforms. If you have an aerator on the faucet, remove it at this time. Next, blow the tap for 1 minute.
1 minute later.
If you know the tap is metal and will not be damaged by heat, use either a lighter or a torch to flame the inside and outside of the tap. If you are unsure whether your tap will be affected by heat, use the alcohol wipes provided. Turn on the cold, unsoftened water to flow at a pencil-width stream. Allow this to run for 5 minutes.
5 minutes later.
After 5 minutes, remove the sterility seal and lid from the bottle. Without touching the inside of the bottle or the underside of the lid, fill the bottle. Do not overfill it or dump out the contents and refill the bottle. Put the lid back on. For certified nitrate and arsenic, collect water into the preserved bottles provided. Do not spill, overfill, or rinse out these bottles. Once this is finished, shut off the tap. Put the aerator back on if present. We often have confusion from clients on how to fill out the chain of custody. The most important parts to fill in are the billing and the sample collection blocks. We will not process samples which arrive at our lab more than 30 hours after collection. For our clients in Wisconsin, if your sample was collected after well pump work or is from a new well, we must have the required DNR forms filled out by your well driller. Please also fill out this area of the COC. If you know when your well was drilled or the unique well number, it's helpful to include this information if we have any further investigation. We can still process samples if this information isn't known or provided. On the back of the form, residential clients do not have to fill out the municipal block. In the notes section, either our WQI staff or the client can include the test selected for the sample. Remember to bring in samples from Monday through Thursday to our office or ship them for next day arrival if you have discussed this option with our staff.